So if you're trying to follow the tech sector in India, specifically what's happening in Maharashtra around, say, July 2025,
Yeah, it's a lot.
it feels like a full-time job, right? I mean, the sheer speed of government shifts and huge corporate investments is just, well, it's breakneck.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's why our mission today really is to cut through all that noise and the press releases. We need to get to the practical, actionable stuff.
And there's this what you're calling the policy trinity.
Exactly. We're going to analyze the new startup policy, the Global Capability Center, or GCC policy, and the massive infrastructure projects that kind of prop them both up.
Right, because it's not just about what they announced, but why it matters to you if you're an investor, an entrepreneur, or even just looking for a job there.
Precisely. And you have to remember, they're not starting from scratch here.
Not at all. I mean, for context, Maharashtra already has the highest share of DPIIT-recognized startups in the country, a staggering 24%.
That's almost a quarter of all startups. And it's the same story with foreign money. They've consistently been #1 in foreign direct investment, pulling in about 31% of the national total between late 2019 and late 2024.
So these new policies are basically designed to hit the accelerator.
They're a calculated push to go from just being a major IT hub to, a global deep tech leader.
Okay, let's unpack that. Let's dive into Section 1, the actual frameworks. First up is the big one, the Maharashtra Startup Entrepreneurship and Innovation Policy 2025.
Which some of our sources have nicknamed DevGatha.
DevGatha, right. So this is the backbone of the whole thing. It's got 8 pillars, but let's really focus on that deep tech angle.
Yeah.
What's the most high impact piece of this policy?
I'd say it's the explicit commitment to building specialized infrastructure. We're talking about dedicated innovation and entrepreneurship hubs.
And these aren't just like your standard co-working spaces.
No, not at all. These are highly specialized labs with cutting-edge resources, things a pre-seed startup couldn't even dream of affording on its own.
So the government is basically centralizing access to super expensive equipment.
Exactly.
What kind of tech are we talking about here?
We're talking facilities for things like augmented reality, AI, 3D printing, robotics, genomics, even quantum computing.
Quantum computing, wow.
Yeah. And Image Labs, interactive simulations. The government is effectively saying, we'll provide the $5 million lab. You just worry about writing the killer algorithm.
That's a huge commitment. But let me be critical for a second. A quantum computing lab is incredibly expensive to build and maintain. Isn't that a massive risk for the state government?
It is. That's a fair point. The risk is high, but the strategy is actually clearer than it looks. They're betting that if they build it, the best talent will come.
So it's a talent magnet.
Right. The goal isn't profit from the labs themselves. It's about capturing the intellectual property and the high-value businesses that get created there. It's a long-term play.
Speaking of intellectual property, that brings us to the money side. So you're in one of these labs, you have a breakthrough idea. How does the policy help you protect it?
And this is where it really gets impressive on a global scale. If you're a DPIIT-recognized startup, you can get massive reimbursements for patents and copyrights.
Okay, so what are the numbers?
For domestic IPR, you can claim up to 5 lakh rupees. But for international...
Which is the real hurdle for most startups, the cost.
Exactly. For international IPR, the incentive jumps all the way up to 20 lakh rupees.
20 lakh, that's a game changer. That immediately puts a small startup in Maharashtra on a more even footing with a firm in, say, Singapore or Berlin.
It's designed to do just that. And, just as critically, they're also focused on quality. There's another reimbursement up to 5 lakh rupees for quality testing and certification.
And this has to be done by a recognized institution, right? Like NABL.
Yes, the National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories.
So why is that specific detail so important?
Because NABL certification is an international benchmark. If your medical device or your software has that stamp, it's not just a local thing. It's a ticket to enter global markets. It builds trust. The government is literally subsidizing your entry into the global big leagues.
Got it. And it's not just about the companies. The DevGatha policy also looks at the individual.
It does. Through an entrepreneur assistance program, they're going to select 25,000 candidates who show real entrepreneurial traits, risk-taking, business sense.
And give them what, a grant?
Loan assistance between 5 and 10 lakh rupees. It's for that person who has a great idea, but maybe not the formal business plan or collateral just yet.
Okay, that covers the startup ecosystem. But Maharashtra is also a giant hub for multinational corporations. So what's new on the enterprise side of things?
This is the second major pillar, the Global Capability Center Policy 2025.
A GCC. for anyone who doesn't know, that's basically where a multinational puts its core high-value functions, right? Like R&D, advanced engineering.
Yeah.
Exactly, not a call center. And what's really important about Maharashtra's new policy is what it excludes.
Oh, interesting. What's not included?
It deliberately leaves out business process outsourcing units, BPOs, and any pure play sales offices.
So this is a legislative filter. They are actively discouraging the low-skill service jobs and sending a very clear signal that they only want the high-value stuff.
That's the message. It's a calculated risk, sure.
Yeah.
You might lose out on some volume investment.
But the goal is to move up the value chain.
Precisely. They want complexity, not just volume. And to support all this, they're also launching a comprehensive cybersecurity policy and have already cleared one for animation, gaming, and extended reality, or AVGC.
So it's a very holistic vision for the digital future.
It really is.
That sets the policy scene really well. So in Section 2, let's talk about how this translates into actual concrete and steel. How is the money flowing?
Well, when you connect the policy to the physical world, the scale of investment is just enormous, especially in data centers.
Right. Data is the new oil.
And Mumbai is the capital. It holds a 53% share of India's total data center capacity. It just crossed the 4-gigawatt milestone.
4 gigawatts. To put that in perspective for you, that's roughly the power output of 4 large nuclear power plants, just for data.
It's colossal. And the plan is to expand and decentralize. They're planning 4 new data center parks across Mumbai, Pune, and Nagpur.
So building redundancy and also spreading the economic growth.
Exactly. And the private sector is clearly buying into this vision.
What are some of the big investments we're seeing?
Well, STT GDC India is planning to invest up to 5,000 crores. But the headline grabber has to be Brookfield's massive $1 billion investment.
$1 billion to do what?
To build what's projected to be Asia's largest GCC right there in the state. You don't make $1 billion bet without having some serious trust in the government's direction.
No, you don't. Okay, let's zoom in on Pune, specifically Hinjawadi IT Park. It's a huge hub, but it's always had, let's say, implementation challenges.
That's a polite way of putting it. Legendary traffic, bureaucratic silos, poor coordination.
Right, and all those little frictions can undermine these big fancy policies. So what are they doing to fix Hinjawadi?
This is a big one. The chief minister has committed to creating a dedicated single point authority for the area.
A single point authority, so a direct attempt to cut through all that red tape.
That is precisely the intent, to stop one department blaming another and to just speed up everything from road repairs to utility permits.
And there's a huge physical upgrade coming too, right?
A huge one. The metro line is finally expected to reach Hinjawadi by December of 2025. That, plus the streamlined bureaucracy, could completely change the game for every company there.
And I saw a small detail in our sources that seems pretty important here. The MIDC increased its service charges.
Yes, in Hinjawadi, Chakan, and Talegaon for the first time in 17 years.
Which might sound like a bad thing, but it's actually a signal, isn't it?
It is. It shows they're proactively raising the capital needed to fund these operational upgrades. They're asking businesses to chip in to maintain world-class infrastructure.
And just quickly, before we move on to talent, how are they making sure this digital growth isn't just a Mumbai Pune story?
That's where the ViratNet Phase 2 project comes in. It's called Mahanet I locally. The goal is to connect over 12,000 gram panchayats.
And where are they with that?
As of January 2025, they were about 76% complete. Closing that final gap is absolutely vital to spreading the benefits around the state.
Which leads us perfectly into our final section. The people, the talent. With all this focus on deep tech and high-value GCCs, continuous reskilling is, it's not optional anymore.
It's mandatory.
So what is Maharashtra doing to get its youth ready for these jobs?
They launched a major scheme back in July 2024, Mukhya Mantri Yuva Karya Prashikshan Yojana.
Okay, what's the objective there?
It's very practical. It gives eligible job seekers, aged 18 to 35, 6 months of hands-on work experience training. It's a direct solution to that classic, you need experience to get experience problem.
And this is paid, right? It's more than just a certificate.
Yes, and the payment structure is key. It's a stipend, paid via direct benefit transfer, and it's scaled based on your education.
How does that scaling work?
So a regular graduate gets 9,000 rupees a month, an engineering graduate gets 12,000. But, and this is the important part, if you have a top-tier qualification, like an engineering postgrad, an MBA, a CA, you get the highest amount, 15,000 rupees a month.
That's a very smart tiered system. It's a clear financial signal from the state that they value and will reward those high-end professional skills.
The very skills that these new GCCs are desperate for. And this all ties into a much better goal. The chief minister's plan to create 10 lakh jobs over 5 years.
And that's not just in the big cities.
No, the plan specifically targets job growth in often overlooked regions, like Warda and Gachiroli. It's a really integrated strategy.
Okay, so you have startups, you have GCCs, you have a trained workforce, but they all need a system that's easy to navigate. What about the ease of doing business?
That's where the MITRI single window system comes in. MITRI is an acronym for the Maharashtra Industry, Trade, and Investment Facilitation Act, 2023.
And its whole purpose is to cut red tape.
That's it. Instead of an investor having to go to 10 different departments for permits and licenses, which can take months.
Or years.
Or years, right?
Yeah.
MITI provides a single portal to handle all of it. It's designed to make sure all this policy enthusiasm doesn't die a slow death in a bureaucratic waiting room.
Okay, let's bring this all together. It's clear that the policies from around July 2025 show Maharashtra is fighting on multiple fronts to secure its future.
Absolutely.
We've covered 3 big shifts. First, comprehensive support for deep tech with these specialized hubs and huge IPR incentives.
Right. Second, this enormous investment in high-density IT infrastructure, especially the data centers, and the push for those high-end GCCs.
And finally, these government-backed programs to actually reskill the youth with practical, hands-on experience.
So, what's the bottom line here? The state already employs a huge number of people in IT, about 23.65 lakh as of early 2024. But this isn't just about adding more jobs.
It's about better jobs.
It's about moving up the value chain. When you explicitly exclude BPOs from your GCC policy and you're building quantum computing labs, you're making a strategic shift. You're moving towards deep tech and global capability roles to make sure you stay the undisputed leader.
That's the perfect summary. It's about prioritizing value over sheer volume. So here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on. If Maharashtra is putting so much money into helping startups get NABL quality certification and international patents, what's the next benchmark? What unseen standard beyond today's certifications will define the most valuable tech solutions coming out of the state?
Is it ethical AI compliance? Data sovereignty rules? Something totally different?
Something to think about.